Guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So, I mean, do I need to remind everyone how dead it is right now? Yeah, dead. Not very much going on. We're waiting on the part 2 LR reveal. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. Who knows? We'll see, right? It is when it is. So I was looking through Twitter today, and I did see, we're now at the point, right? There's nothing going on, so people are like, okay, like what's like one of the next big hype things that's going to be coming to the game? Now we have the Tanabata celebration coming up. Now, Tanabata, and then it eventually becomes the thank you celebration for Global, is one of the bigger celebrations of the year. And whereas, like, Golden Week is definitely above a normal celebration, but doesn't hit these high heights of the big ones, Tanabata / thank you is, right? I think that, like, if you do it, like, kind of in order, Anniversary and Worldwide are the two titans. Those are the best times of the year for Dokkan, right? Then behind that, I think, is Tanabata / thank you. And then after that, you can get to, like Golden Week, maybe like Saiyan Day, stuff like that. And then like normal celebrations, right? Is typically the way it goes. So I saw some ideas for LRs for Tanabata, right? Again, Tanabata is the next big thing. And I was like thinking about it and I decided to make it a tweet. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I could just make this a video and I could explain some of these points thoroughly. So I saw 2 tweets today from, Dokkan Twitter users here. We got Thad and Alan. I like them both. Now this, right, I like what we're doing with part 2, right? This is buffing a team that needs to be buffed. Universal's Rival Saga. A UI Goku, I think, would be fantastic. Keep in mind that the first UI Goku versus Jiren fight, the 1 hour special, is completely untouched in terms of animations. We are going to get a UI Goku and a Jiren from that fight that are going to be just so awesome to see, right? But I just don't think 17 and 18, I just don't think that's good. I think that there's kind of like, I don't know if I would want to call it fatigue or what, but certainly people I think have become way more critical than ever, right? And it's like, I think that Dokkan, I explained this right here, right? Where it's a good to keep a balance of hype and then not hype characters that have not gotten the proper representation to this point. I think Dokkan has done a pretty good job of that this year, actually. But like every comment I see is people saying like this is the worst ever, right? But like look at it, right? The 8th anniversary theme I thought was incredible. Double Spirit Bomb, both like crazy anniversaries, crazy animations. I thought like the standby stuff like that were good, right? Maybe towards the end of the anniversary, besides the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions, the end of the anniversary is where it kind of like fell off compared to the 7th anniversary, right? Maybe the part 2 LRs. I mean, I'm not going to go super crazy for 7th or 8th anniversary part 2 LRs though, right? So this is an opportunity for the 9th anniversary to be king easily, is what they do with the part 2 LRs, right? But then we go into, an unhyped character who I guess Super 17, who has had a Dokkan Fest before and has had a summonable LR, but, fusing 17 and 17 is a good idea. I thought that was fine. Then, Super 17 is unhyped for a majority of the player base. Then we move into God Goku. Very hyped character, right? It was like the 10th anniversary of Battle of Gods. I thought it was a good pick. It was very hyped. Huge W. And then, what's the next one they do? Kale. I think Kale is a fine pick for an unhyped character. I mean, Kale has had a lot of characters, right? But Kale getting a Dokkan Fest, I don't hate it. I don't. She's not hype, but I think that there are big time Kale fans out there who care that Kale got a Dokkan Fest. I do think that's important, right? And then we move into 23rd World Tournament, right? Which I think is hype, but it is still like Dragon Ball level hype. Now, there's always going to be a war of people saying, oh, Dragon Ball is so good, so underrated. A lot of people, these days have only watched like Super or the End of Z and not watched original Dragon Ball. Like, all of these things can be true at the same time. Dragon Ball is underrated, Dragon Ball is overrated, these characters are hype, these characters aren't hype. No matter what, nothing is going to compare to Super Saiyans. That's just a fact. Unfortunately, it's how it is. There's nothing they could do that's going to be more hype than a Super Saiyan ever. They can't, right? I mean, I if we want to count Beast Gohan as not a Super Saiyan, right? And I guess like Orange Piccolo. But like new stuff can kind of trump that, right? So right now, Beast, Orange Piccolo, the Gamma, Cell Max, these are very fresh characters. I think that's different. In 2018, UI Goku was a million times more hyped than the Blue Fusion. It's not even close. Blue fusions were nothing compared to him, right, at the start of 2018. Although Blue Gogeta didn't exist yet, but you get my point, right? Nowadays, though, I would not think a UI Goku would be more hyped than Blue Fusion characters coming out, right? It's like things change in time and how new things are, how fresh things are, right? So I felt like this was a good idea of what we could have. Alan's post is this Gohan and Piccolo right here. I think like Gohan and Piccolo could work, but from the Tournament of Power, I'm not so sure. Plus, I mean, they did fight the Universe 6 Namekians for a long time, but I mean that like the climax of the fight, it was this card. So I don't really know that this is a good pick. I like Alan, by the way. Alan kind of gets a bad reputation a lot of times. I do think people kind of I don't know. They kind of like see what they want to see with Alan a lot of times. I promise Alan is not as bad as people think. Although he did mention, how is a Vegito hype? Bro, come on, Alan, please. And all right. So let's take a look at this. So again, this is my idea of what I think a good next couple of months would be, right? So keep in mind, we've had the Kale Dokkan Fest. We had the 8th anniversary, which was very good. I mean, maybe this is a little optimistic. So I think Dokkan Fest exclusive Lord Slug would be, look at this, right? Like we only ever have had like one like moment of Lord Slug in the game, which was in it was May of 2018. And then this was around when LR, LR, oh my god, that's right. Slug was featured on the LR Bardock banner. Right? That was his introduction. That's so weird. Yeah. That's something that they should do again. Is like, all right, like we're finally gonna give representation to like the Dr. Wheelo movie, but then there's LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan right at the same time. Like I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty good idea. But Lord Slug would be great. Oh, I closed him, but let me actually pull him back up. The thing about Lord Slug, so you take a look at this. Namekians, Nightmare, Metamorphosis, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Transform. Do you guys see the point? Lord Slug would be an insane villain right now. I'm telling y'all, there's like outside of a super hype Saiyan, there's like not a character I would be more like, oh yes, than Lord Slug. Like I'm so serious about that. This guy would be he brings so many of these villains together because he links good with the Boos, he links good with the Coolers, Piccolo Jr., like all these characters. Lord Slug would be ideal. The Giant team is kind of nice right now. Movie bosses, like you can see what I'm talking about, right? He could lead space traveling. Oh my god, dude. Lord Slug would be such a goated release. I'm telling y'all. I would love that. And then it would make sense because this would be the next celebration. So Lord Slug, the next Dokkan Fest, this is like the 30th, 31st, or 1st. Like one of these 3 days we're going to get a Dokkan Fest, right? And then we'll get a part 2 LR. And then Tanabata will start the last day of June, probably the 30th. So like we'd get a part 2 LR maybe on like the 19th, 20th, 21st, or the 12th, 13th, 14th. In this 6-day period right here, we would get a part 2 LR. And I think they could easily just do Goku from the Lord Slug movie, right? Here, let me start to close some of these. So, Goku in the movie kind of does like the false Super Saiyan thing. I don't think they're ever going to release like a false Super Saiyan Goku card. Funny enough, I believe it's the Dragon Ball Super card game actually made a card recently for false Super Saiyan Goku, although they just call it Goku. It's just called Goku. They can't give us another Goku. We just got Carnival LR Goku and then a Dokkan Fest. If they gave us like a third LR Goku, right, that would be crazy. It should be Kaioken. They should make it a Kaioken Goku. This one is from the Slug movie right here, where you kind of have like Piccolo in the background. But I think that they could do like an LR version of this. And then he could, like, the things false Super Saiyan Goku does in the movie, he would just be in, like, Kaioken form instead. They easily could do that. Because it's, like, the reason false Super Saiyan is not in Heroes, Legends, other games, like, it's never been in any games. Like, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had every character ever. False Super Saiyan Goku wasn't in it, right? It's because, at the time, it was just Toei's interpretation of what Super Saiyan would be. And then once Toriyama officially unveiled Super Saiyan, there was no point in this kind of like, Super Saiyan type thing that Toei just created for the movie, right? So I think like the attacks and stuff like that Goku does in that form against Lord Slug, they could just apply to like a Kaioken Goku, which I think would work well, right? So we could get that. Then we'd go into Tanabata. Now, Tanabata needs to be big. I said Gogeta Blue and Carnival Broly. I mean, there's a lot of things it could be. People pointed out that every Tanabata is usually a duo unit, right? Blue Kaioken Goku Evolution Blue Vegeta, Gohan and Goten, the Goku and Vegeta that fused into Gogeta. Then, of course, we had Vegeta and Trunks. Could just be like a base Goku and Vegeta who fuse into Gogeta Blue. Actually, base Goku and Vegeta. What does that look like? Oh, yeah, there we go. Bam. It could be base Goku and Vegeta who fuse into Gogeta Blue. Or the main reason I picked this was because you know what we don't have still? Standalone Blue Gogeta. We don't have that. And then, I mean, don't even get me started at Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly deserves 3 summonable LRs, man. He has like 3 LRs worth of animations that they could grab for him, right? Wrath Broly, full power Super Saiyan. Like there's just so much. Cause bro, from the second Broly and Vegeta start fighting, it's what, like 40 minutes nonstop of fighting or whatever. There's so much they could still take from that. They've gone to Gogeta repeatedly, but not really, Broly, the other major character who's a super hype Saiyan. So I just need Dragon Ball Super Broly to get involved here, right? For sure. Now, the only thing that's a negative about this is that he is a villain, but like this is not the type of character that is helping like these villain teams, right? Like when we say we need villain buffs, this technically is a villain, but this guy's not buffing villain teams. It's not a buff to villain teams. Like, you would need him to be like a support or something like that, right? Like Garesha's idea for 8th anniversary LR Omega Shenron was like guard, dodge, damage reduction, scouter, 50% support to extreme class allies. It's like that's like that would be a villain buff, yeah. But like even the teams he's on, these are mostly like a lot of this is just like Saiyan teams. So it's like when people are talking about villain buffs, it really is something like Lord Slug. Or, I mean, a Frieza, right? A Cell, a Majin Buu, right? Like, those are characters that Bojack, Turles, stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like this Dragon Ball Super Broly for Tanabata would be a huge W. And I think a big way to look at it, global players, right, is, oh my god, animations revealed on JP, data download on JP. How badly are you like, oh my god, I cannot wait for this to be on global, right? Like, if they're doing like a 17 and 18 or a Universal's Rival Saga Gohan and Piccolo, people are going, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I'll wait 5 months for this. I don't care, right? But like if they're dropping, Gogeta, Vegito, Broly, and then it's like, oh, that's, sorry, it's how it is. So then, again, I think it's important to go very hype characters and then deserving representation for unhyped characters. Although Broly is a hype character that also deserves representation. But then my next idea is Zarbon, right? Zarbon. I mean, he's not the most major of major characters, but he does some stuff. They could easily give him a Dokkan Fest. Let's just take a look at Super Zarbon. Look at the categories and links. I guess it's a little difficult because it's like, I mean, he would have Metamorphosis. That could certainly be good. He's on Terrifying Conquerors, Final Trump Card, Space Traveling Warriors, Dragon Ball Secret Transformation Boost. He'd have some spots, but I think something like this would be a good Dokkan Fest before Worldwide, right? Zarbon, Dodoria, Dr. Wheelo, Harudagarn, Tapion, right? Like stuff like that. Mr. Satan, I feel like could be a good one. Maybe like a Tien. Tien doesn't have a Dokkan Fest. Krillin doesn't have a Dokkan Fest, right? Like when I think of the pre-Worldwide Dokkan Fest, I'd like it to be one of those units. And it's like that. I think it's a huge mistake if like we're leading into Worldwide, which again, my idea was Buhan Vegito and then Zamasu Vegito. That I think that's what we want right there. And it's like Dokkan, I think, would be making a huge mistake by not directly preceding something of that level of hype with something that would also be hype. Like if they would drop like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku here, it's just, I think, stupidity, right? It's better because you could just cycle, like we could just slide out a Zarbon, and then don't worry, like the big hype celebration is coming right after, right? So I think that's very important. Dokkan, again, I saw, let me also point this out. I saw people comparing Dokkan's release schedule to Legends, and I don't think that's a smart thing to do, because Dokkan is, you know, halfway to the 9th anniversary, right? Whereas Legends is about to hit their 5th anniversary. Legends is now doing Ultra characters, which are essentially LRs, right? They just did, for the first time ever, Ultra Rose, Ultra Hit, right? Ultra Gogeta Blue, Ultra Kid Buu, right? Now, keep in mind, for Dokkan, that's LRs. LR Rose, right? Like, we had him in 2017, right? Now, Hidden Kid Buu, yeah, we have not had those. LR Gogeta Blue, right? We had him at the start of 2020. So it's like Dokkan and Legends, they're at different periods, right? Dokkan has done a lot of these LRs for a lot of these characters. They do need to cycle into the less hype characters, right? Legends is now introducing Ultras and kind of getting the flow of some of the Ultras going, so they could keep going. Ultra Super Saiyan 3 Goku is next. Then Ultra Vegito Blue. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Ultra, I don't know, base Gogeta from the Broly movie, right? Ultra Broly, right? Like, they could just keep firing those out because they're not like Dokkan years in where they've got 1 million of those LRs, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind there. So let me know what you guys think. I would like to see people's ideas. I think that this is the proper way to do this. I'm sorry. These major celebrations are so important that just doing like some mediocre hype level character, it's just not the best idea. I mean, I do even remember last year, a lot of people were like, Vegeta and Trunks, not really Dokkan Fest LR worthy, right? That was a very common thing. Vegeta and Trunks were helped tremendously by their animations. I mean, their animations were impeccable. Vegeta and Trunks. So was Fusion Zamasus, by the way. Part 2 of that celebration. So I do think it's important, right? Like a nice hype character. And then when you are cycling in these big hype releases, you know, Tanabata's A Crazy Celebration was super hype. Oh, it was so good. And it makes like, okay, like Golden Week wasn't that crazy. It's okay, right? Like up and down. It's the way it's going to be. This is a game that's getting updates, you know, every week, basically. It can't, unfortunately, be, oh my god, balls to the wall hype 24/7, right? It's just not how it's going to be. But let me know what you guys think. Again, I don't care what nobody says. We need this so bad. Right now, he will literally never be better than right now. All of his teams, right? Dude, Namekian, Terrifying Conquerors, movie bosses. I just, hello, can you open, please? I'm clicking over and over. Thank you. Please, just, bro, give us Lord Slug. Just give us Lord Slug. He works so good. He would be so perfect right now. Namekians is so good. Piccolo Jr., Cooler, all these characters he works so good with. This would hit so hard, dude. Do you know how fun Space Traveling Warriors would be as a team? Oh, please, dude. Come on. All right, so let me know what you guys think again, and I'll catch y'all next time.